In the early 21st century, magic reawakened on Earth, and alongside it a new human race with orcs, elves, trolls, dwarves, and others. Humanity became meta-humanity. As technology proliferated and greatly advanced in the awakened world, global megacorporations seized ever more power, becoming de facto states with their own laws, courts, and armed forces. The corporations attempt to control all aspects of modern life. This has led to a vast and complex criminal underground which works for and against corporate interests. The independent career criminals who do what others can't or won't are called Shadowrunners. The year is 2101. Welcome to Fun City.
In the last episode of Fun City, interpersonal tensions were mounting as the gang is forced to live together on spellcaster Viv's tiny houseboat Mirage, which floats in the East River. A call came in from a mysterious Johnson based in swanky mainland New Jersey who wants to hire the team to retrieve his stolen boat from a dangerous-sounding mage who owns a shipyard far south in the Brooklyn archipelago. That mage goes by the name Jast. One problem, though: to captain a boat, the team needs a rigger. Their Johnson knows just such a guy, Gabriel, a DJ at a club called the Ball Pit, who happens to owe the Johnson a favor. We return now to the Ball Pit and join the team as Gabriel's motorized DJ sphere descends from some height. As the pod lowers to the ground, you see there's a man that is seated dressed in head-to-toe digital camo.
Could you please explain that a little bit?
Yeah, like literally the 1990s style camo that was on like Echo.
Oh.
Like
I thought you meant like
no.
Matrix
no,
camo.
No, not like fancy Shadowrun anything, but like really like throwback mid-90s
My laundry bag.
Streetwear.
My laundry bag is digital camo.
Yeah.
Frosted tips.
So Gabriel is completely hairless.
Right.
He does not have any hair, no eyebrows, no beard, no eyelashes, but he is covered every inch of his skin in tattoos of like no one discernible style. It's like some geometric stuff here, some Sailor Jerry stuff there, sort of all over the place. A couple Bart Simpsons, you know. And when he stands up out of his pod, he's maybe like 5'7", and you can see as he gets out, he unhooks a long cable that goes to the inside of the pod from a jack that is on the side of his neck, and that is his universal data jack that interfaces with his rigger setup, and so that is how he is able to control this whole club. The people in the physical version of the club are also kind of upset. The like 15 or 20 people that were around are kind of hemming and hawing, and someone's shouting like, "Hey, where'd the music? Come on!"
Where's my milk? Gonna hear a couple of "Where my milks?"
What does Chester shout from
The bar?
There are two drunken frat-looking orcs trying to order milk, and Gabriel's no longer hooked into the system.
You gotta tell me if you're gonna be taking a break there, Gabriel. These babies want their thirsty milk.
I'm sorry, I have to take my 15. It's a family emergency.
Gentlemen, can I interest you in some juice boxes? We should have more in 10 to 15 minutes.
So, Yuri sent you.
Yeah. Yes. Do you know about the job?
No. What does Yuri need?
Do you know about Yuri's boat?
No, I don't know about Yuri's boat. Yuri has a boat? He lives in New Jersey in a bank. What does he need a boat for? Ugh, I mean, I guess he has a bunch of paintings and stuff too. Okay, no, I don't know about Yuri's boat. Sorry. I'm Gabe. It's nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you, Gabe. I'm Lash.
Nice to meet you, Lash. I like your shoes.
Thank you.
They're very red and spiky.
Well, you know, I do what I can.
I can tell.
I'm Luxe.
I'm Viv.
TK.
And you're our rigger.
I see.
Yeah.
The job concerns a boat.
We need
You need me to drive a boat.
you to drive the boat. We'll secure you on the boat, and we'll join you on the boat as we bring it back, but you will need to be probably driving it and...
Does a rigger have to be on the boat to drive it?
Not necessarily. Depends upon the kind of boat. And then Gabe asks, well, what kind of boat are we talking about here? Where is the boat?
We didn't get a make or model for the boat. This is one of the boats you do need to be on to drive, unfortunately. You can do that, right?
I mean, I am a very good captain.
Good.
Do you get seasick?
No, do you?
You don't
TK
know,
doesn't
do you?
answer.
Listen, TK does that sometimes. Don't get offended.
TK, you don't
that's
you
TK.
don't know, do you?
You ever been on a boat, friend?
We're sleeping on one.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah, we...
You, hold on. Let's figure this out here.
Yes.
I mean, I'm inclined to agree. I do not want to be in cahoots with Yuri any longer than I have to be.
Yeah.
So, hey, this is great for all of us, that this is an opportunity to make some new friends and to erase a part of my past that I'm not happy about. But it sounds like you need me to steal a boat, but you don't know which boat or where it is.
We do know where it is.
It's in Sheep's Head Bay.
Yeah, do you know this character called
Jast.
Jast?
Oh, you know him.
Why fuck?
He's a bad guy.
Well, obviously he's a bad guy, but what kind of bad guy? Is he some sort of a magic person?
Yeah. There's a couple things that he does.
Okay.
He deals weapons.
Okay.
So this is surprising because ever since the quake and the floods that destroyed New York, in rebuilding the city, NYPD Incorporated essentially made firearms illegal for civilians to own. And so there was a huge crackdown over the course of a couple decades, during which NYPD Inc. got basically every gun off the street. And it became really hard, even if you're criminals, to find, possess, get away with possessing firearms. And so Jast is one of a few people in and around the tri-state area that will still run the extremely high risk of dealing weapons.
Right. Well, we're going to have to take this boat from him, so we are going to protect you.
I would hope so. You need me to drive your boat.
We do need you
Yuri's
to
boat.
drive our boat, and we'll get you there, but we can't guarantee any safety.
So point of order,
Yeah.
you need me because I know how to drive a boat.
Yes.
So I will get you there because it's in the distant south of the Brooklyn archipelago
Yeah, it is.
where you can't get on a car.
So we need another boat.
You guys don't have any boats.
Mm-hmm.
We have a houseboat.
A smaller, tactical
Yeah, just
boat.
like boop, 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 boop.
We could
see us coming.
We could drive a smaller sort of tactical boat to get us there, but we can't drive this boat.
Tell you what, when do you need the boat stolen by?
We need to have it back to him within 3 days.
Okay, here's what we do.
Okay.
Let me worry about getting the first boat.
Okay.
You've never been to Jast?
No.
No.
We don't even know who Jast is.
Okay, great. So, I mean, not great, but understood. I will come and get you. We should case the place.
Yeah.
We should go take a look at it and try to learn something about it. We'll go from there. Give me 4 hours. Tell me where you live.
Sure. We send him some coordinates that are conveniently location for us.
He acknowledges receipt and he gives you all a nod. He's like, all right, let's do this, I guess.
Okay.
I'm sorry, Chester. I got to split. My grandma just died. I gotta leave.
Gabriel, I can see that you're lying to me, but I'm gonna let it go because you're the most reliable DJ rigger we've had in here in half a decade. You're breaking my heart. I'm gonna give you this one time.
I appreciate that a lot. That means a lot, Chester. And he goes in for a hug over the counter. And nothing happens.
Well, that was great. I had a great feeling about Gabriel. I think we're gonna get along just great. The energy was
What energy?
really, really great energy coming off.
Lash, how are you feeling? Viv waves her hand in front of Lash's face.
I feel I've never felt so good before.
Oh dear.
Viv's hand to you looks like just the most beautiful butterfly.
Whoa, Viv, keep doing that. How'd you learn that? I know you're magic, but whoa.
TK, you feel an overwhelming sense of inexplicable trust for your teammates.
I love you guys. And doesn't say anything else.
We love you too, TK.
TK, that's a lot of
Just
progress.
walks away.
All right.
Well, that was an improvement.
As you leave, the patrons of the ball pit sullenly and drunkenly drag themselves out of their various pods. A sort of like secondary rigor has gone into Gabriel's empty pod to lower the people who were trapped up at the ceiling, who in the intervening 5-minute conversation became very irate about the fact that they could no longer have milk served to them or dance in their private little dance floors. And you guys make your way back to the houseboat?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Lux is outside on the kind of dock of the houseboat. He's not exactly comfortable inside. Yeah, so he's sort of just racking his memory that he may have known someone who knew about transmogrification and things like that. But he's like, no, I don't know if that guy did that or if he did translocation, because he thinks something weird is going on with this trash that he's turning into other stuff. But he can't quite put his finger on.
Why don't you roll a memory test?
Yeah. I have +2 to all memory tests, and memory is, so I have 9 dice on that. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 hits.
Digging deep into your memory, you remember one very long closed door meeting that you once had with a bunch of faces that work with a bunch of the criminal element around New York City. And it's one of those meetings that was like so long, and the door remained closed for such a huge portion of it that the CO2 content in the room got really high. There's like no fresh air for a while.
Yep.
And so that's why your memory is really foggy about it. But what you do seem to remember is some people talking about a get-rich-quick scheme, or really not quick, but like, get rich, so it's good enough, where it turns out what you can do is if you find the right kinds of metal with the right kinds of magical properties, which sometimes accidentally seeps its way into the manufacture of regular everyday metal goods, like say appliances or automobiles, you can render it down through a very complex set of processes into something that is very valuable to magicians. That's all you can really remember.
Yes.
There's like something that you can do. It's really complicated. It's really time consuming. But like at the end, you end up with something that per gram just costs a lot of, like you can charge a lot of money for it.
Right.
And it does involve just dealing with metals.
Right. I wish the CO2 was a little higher in the room. Or lower? Lower.
CO2's high enough you don't even know.
TK also, he knows a bunch of street urchins from his time growing up in the streets. He's still in touch with the urchins, the urchin gang.
So this is we are using the contact mechanic.
Right,
Is what this is.
right.
So in Shadowrun, player characters have contacts, which are just people they know,
Mm-hmm.
and they have a connection rating and a loyalty rating.
Yeah. So these are the connection rating and loyalty rating are both 1 for this. So it's a kind of like I don't know if they're gonna answer, but I figure I should ask. Like, dude.
So connection is how well connected they are to their community, and loyalty is how much they care about you.
Yes. And it's like a Hail Mary pass. But I mean, this guy seems like a weird magic dude who a lot of people know, so they might know something.
Okay.
So I'd like to get in touch and see if they know anything about Jast.
So you're just gonna like send have a comm link number. You're just gonna send a message.
Yep.
You receive back a text that just says 8 == == == D ~~~.
he has red receipts on and just leave them on red.
Okay, that's all the business.
Mhm.
As the afternoon sort of starts to draw to a close, the sun hangs a little bit lower. You hear, approaching the houseboat, a loud kind of whirring, whining sound. And when you look out the single large window at the end of the houseboat, you see approaching one of those, like, swamp skimmer boats with the big fan on the back.
Yes.
And sitting in the front, in the chair, Gabriel. Behind him, you see 2 leather couches that are just attached to the boat. And he pulls aggressively up alongside and makes eye contact. Who was sitting on the? Who was sitting on the outside?
I was in the
You-
I'm on the dock, yeah.
So you see him first. He makes eye contact with you, nods his head, and says, "Get in, loser."
Okay, loser, thanks for bringing the covert boat
Listen, this was the
that
best.
we're gonna use to quickly, like, case the joint.
It was the best I could do on short notice. If you have a better, faster boat, you feel free to go
You
get
know I don't. You know that the only boat we have is this giant thing that I don't think moves. You know that.
it. Yeah.
Okay, well,
Just listen. This is the best we can do.
all right. Do you have paddles or something that we can paddle when we get closer?
Now don't worry. We'll just go real slow.
Okay.
It's the middle of the day. No one's gonna suspect
All
anything.
right,
I mean,
all right.
we're not gonna cause trouble now, are we?
No, I mean, we're going to try not to. You know, I have trouble with this group, you know, making sure they don't get in trouble sometimes, but we're professionals. Guys, Gabriel's here.
Viv bursts from the door. How dare you disturb my calm?
Sorry, Viv.
Sorry, Mom.
I need calm.
I'm here.
So I mean, you guys all get on the boat. Yeah. Gabriel will take you south through the Brooklyn archipelago. You guys are at about Midtown Manhattan on the east side, and the pin that you have for Jast is basically due south, maybe like 5 or 6 miles or so. So he's going to take you through the Brooklyn archipelago. After the floods and quakes of '05, a number of corporate powers conspired to rebuild Manhattan. But Brooklyn, Queens, and Long Island weren't so lucky, and much of what was raised and sank underwater a generation ago has stayed that way. Serious efforts aimed at rebuilding the Brooklyn archipelago to bring it back to even a shade of the vibrancy of the former borough have really only started in the last 5 or so years. For the most part, it remains the cobbled-together refuge of those who would never dream of leaving the borough under any circumstance, as well as those who were forced from Manhattan after it was rebuilt, but couldn't make the move elsewhere for any number of reasons. Much of the Brooklyn archipelago is a combination of naturally occurring islands, the high points of the now sunken borough, and stationary, man-made structures. The largest Earth island is Park Beach, the former site of Park Slope and Prospect Park. The most notable built structure is Morgantown, a kind of floating Kowloon city on the former site of Bushwick. The further south one ventures, the less development one will find, given the scale of the destruction visited upon the southern portion of the borough and the depth at which its past construction has been sunk. So Jast is really far south in the Brooklyn archipelago. It's off towards the former locations like we've talked about, Sheepshead Bay and Gravesend. As you guys approach, it's probably like a 30, 40-minute journey just going around all of these larger and smaller islands and man-made structures. You see other houseboats like the one that you're familiar with, large and small islands with homes, businesses, just piles of garbage. In the daylight, the outline of Jast is visible for several full minutes before you're anywhere near it. On the horizon, there's this sort of squat brown rectangular prism that dims the sky behind it. And from a distance, it becomes clear that Jast it's not one island, but it's actually a large razor wire cage that is set over several islands. And the islands range in size from maybe you're still sort of far away, but maybe a couple dozen feet to city block size. So Jast, as a location, very far south, sort of in the middle of nowhere, really, really big. On some of these islands, you see these giant, like massive piles of scrap metal, as well as, as you get closer and closer, you start to be able to make out appliances, cars, trucks, drones, small aircrafts, other like mostly sort of indiscernible debris of various sizes. And in the waterways that cut between all of these piles, you see like half-sunken automobiles, toppled rotocraft, and a lot of boats. Like dozens of boats.
Whoa, we got a lot of boats here. I mean, how are we going to figure this out? One smells like eggs, maybe?
I don't think this is going to be at Lash.
Okay.
But that is a good thought. We need to figure out which boat this is. So just to be clear, Gabriel, we are just casing the place right now. We don't have any intention of going in. Do you need more equipment and stuff to actually go in and get the job done now, or what's the deal?
Yeah, I mean, it's so as you look, he gestures towards the front of Jast Reclamation, which is still probably like 2,000 yards away, so it's still pretty far away.
Yeah.
And you can see a steady stream of barges bringing in piles of scrap metal and leaving empty, or leaving with a rotocraft on them, or like one or two cars on the back of them. So, it looks like they're conducting business. It's pretty busy. There are a lot of people coming and going. So Gabriel gestures at this and he's like, I mean, I don't think we're not gonna pull off a heist. He looks at his watch, 4:30 in the afternoon.
What do you think our chances are of getting in a car that's being scrapped here, waiting until nightfall, popping out of that guy and getting the job done? Anybody have any thoughts?
I think we need more information. Perhaps I should assess the surroundings.
Please do that.
Do you want to, that sounds great. Can you tell us what assensing is?
Assensing is digging for information in the astral plane, and the astral plane is where a lot of magicians have access to. That's where they can, derive information about what's happening and if there are other magic users around.
So it's like a spiritual realm.
Yeah. I'm rolling 10 for my assensing and 3 hits.
All right, this is dope. So because you're very far away, you're not going to be able to accurately say a lot about power levels and what exactly is going on. What you can definitely see is that there is an exceptional amount of magic coming out of the ground beneath Jast Reclamation, and that you can see clearly, even from where you are, there is one magic user who you can tell is very powerful.
Oh, goodness me.
Viv, what happened?
Viv's caftan slips a little bit off her shoulder.
And when you look a little bit closer to, sort of the underside, like the underground, where inexplicably there appears to be strong auras of magic coming from where there should be basically water or the remains of old Brooklyn, you see a lot of small bits of material moving around. Things are active. Things are happening.
There is a lot of magic here, and I haven't felt like this in a long time.
Gabriel looks at you. He's like, "You gonna be? And he sort of reaches off to the side of the boat and wets his fingers and sprinkles some water in your face a little bit.
Thank you. I needed that. Thank you. There's a very powerful mage here within this structure, and there's a lot of power coming from underneath it.
Sounds like I should do a matrix perception test.
Sure.
Just see what's same idea. Just seeing what's happening, if anything, on the matrix.
So you guys are Gabe is also still keeping you pretty far away. Is that what you want?
Yeah.
You're kind of in the middle. You're sort of parked off to the side of a channel. So there's a bunch of different kinds of boats coming and going. You're still maybe a fat 1,500 yards away or so. No one's paying you any mind.
Gabe, can we get a little closer?
Yeah.
Just because there's a lot of noise. There will be a lot of noise.
There will be a lot of noise. So in Shadowrun, especially with technological things, if you would like to understand more about them, you sometimes have to be closer to them because distance creates what's called noise in the network, which just makes it hard to perceive things.
Lash says, if anyone stops us, I say we say this is a bachelorette party. My bachelorette party.
Luxe, as Lash says this, you smell the last remnants of the liquor still on her breath.
Okay.
Milk.
Cliven is not there right now.
But
Chester.
It was milk.
Hey, Lash, I could smell the milk on you. We're not going to pretend to be at a bachelorette party.
All right. I'm just throwing the idea out there.
No
When
one's
push
gonna
comes to shove, we'll see what your decision
Okay,
is.
so you're
A boat pulls up alongside and says, "You guys lost? You need any help?" I don't know why someone from Gravesend talks like this, but
no, sir. We're just a bachelorette party.
you kids have fun. And then he
Okay.
speeds off.
All right, that worked.
See, no one
Yeah.
wants to be anywhere near a bachelorette
right.
party. You see one, you run away.
You're right. I couldn't think of anything else, and it actually worked. Thank you, Lash.
Gabe, chuckling to himself, pulls forward a couple hundred yards. You see more clearly the giant rusting razor wire cage that stretches all across Jast Reclamation. You can also see now that there are a couple dozen LED panels hung on the inside of its top surface for like nighttime work, probably security. You also start to see catwalks along the perimeter of the cage, and you begin to hear the machinery that combs through the piles of detritus and all of the sort of like material that they get delivered. You start to hear these like deep squeals and crunches of big metal being chomped and melted and whatnot. You also start to see there's like it's like a little hard for you to tell the details, but it looks like there's office building or like a guard tower or something that stretches around both sides of the two channels that the barges are using to enter and exit. So there is like some set of facilities up towards the front, but you're still a little bit far away to be able to tell what they are.
Yeah, I think I want to do that perception test.
So you just kind of want to like
I want to see like what kind of IC they have. Like I want to see what kind of matrix countermeasures they might have, or
so you want to actually try to figure out like
I want to see what we're going to be up against.
Yeah.
In the cyber sense.
I mean, I think you're gonna have a hard time knowing what their countermeasures are.
Yeah.
Before you actually like gain access to them as a host, which like at this point you don't even know whether or not that exists.
Right.
So like I think probably your first step would be you want to just look and you want to see if you can even figure out if they have something that you can infiltrate.
Right. Yeah, that sounds smarter. I'll just roll it. And
roll it and see what you. I mean, this is what the Matrix perception test. Depending upon how well you do, you basically see more or less. So
rolling 10. 4 hits.
So what you figure out is that you see icons in the distance. They're a little fuzzy of like some employees, a number of employees that are just working the yard. They kind of blink in and out because of the distance. Maybe because of the kind of gear that they're using, you don't really know. But you can see that there's maybe like at least half a dozen people that you can see are like have some sort of connected gear of some kind, whether it's a comm link or whatnot. You do, because of your role, manage to like perform some search mojo, and there is like one really simple computer system that's in the office that was running silent. It was trying to hide itself from public broadcast, and you do see that it's there. You didn't roll well enough to be able to tell what it is, but you can see that there is like one thing that's there that is wirelessly accessible that they were trying to hide. And it seems like very low tech otherwise.
So I guess I relay that information back to them.
Gabriel, is there any of these ships or vehicles or anything around here that you have wireless access to that you can rig and control? I mean, obviously, I know that you're not going to be able to do that with the big boat, but is there anything else, barges that you're connected to or can connect to control?
So you want me to check and see whether or not there's something in the yard that I can get and move around from here.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I guess it's worth a shot.
Yeah.
Hold on 1 second.
Thank you. I like this guy.
Yeah.
You were right.
I told you, I get energy from people.
I should listen to that more often.
I just wonder what he owes Yuri.
We'll find that out.
Odessa.
Should we tell him about the bonus, or should we?
No.
Okay. Well, he's not taking any money anyway. So
No, he's working for free.
Yeah.
Guys.
We're just having a private conversation, Gabriel. Uh-oh. Something's happening. Oh, no.
Fuck.
Oh, what happened?
Big glitch.
Oh, shit.
Critical glitch.
Oh, God.
Oh,
what
no.
did he do?
Oh, it's really weird when you're the GM and the person who glitched.
Oh, man.
But you're also playing Gabriel and not like an enemy.
Gabriel,
My comment is going to be, no wonder you're working for free.
Gabriel, your face is gone completely white. What's going on, bud?
we have to go. I'm
Now?
sorry. We just have to back off for a second. And he turns the boat around and starts to drive away slowly, but you can see that his knuckles are slightly white.
What's going on, Gabriel?
What's going on?
Nothing. I was just sort of checking to see whether or not there were things that were connected that, were broadcasting a signal that I might have been able to connect to.
Yes.
And I maybe just did that a little bit too loudly. It's fine. It happens sometimes. You just...
Didn't happen to us ever. I mean,
Yeah, that seems unlikely.
I don't think it's ever happened to us. So,
Do they know it was you?
Well, probably not. I just think maybe it's a good idea for us to wait a couple minutes and not be motionless in plain sight. And he drives around to the backside of like a particularly large houseboat that is between you and Jast, and sort of like nods his head a little bit and like smiles. He's like, I hear this happens to lots of riggers.
I say, quick, everyone, let's start singing karaoke so we can really lean into this bachelorette party thing. Okay.
I don't think we should be drawing attention to ourselves.
what do you think happens at bachelorette's parties?
Karaoke, houseboats.
Right. Right. So you think what happens is you get one woman and three men
Yeah.
on an airboat
Yeah.
with leather couches.
Sure.
And then you go sing karaoke behind a houseboat. Is that what you think is
Hell
happening?
yeah.
All right, Lash.
As you are having this conversation, an orc wearing a thick, padded, armored vest drives around the backside of the houseboat that you are hiding behind on a cobbled together, almost Mad Max-esque jet ski, and looks at you really suspiciously and shouts, "Hey, what are you all doing around here?"
I use my con skill to tell him that we are at a bachelorette party.
Roll for it.
Because again, I couldn't think of anything else.
Ash did the thinking.
Well, she did, and I'm going along with this even though I can't stand it.
You're not saying it's a bachelorette party because you didn't think of anything. There was a plan in place.
I think I saw you. You was parked around here not doing anything for a second, right?
Yeah.
Oh,
yes.
yeah.
What do you? This is a high traffic area. You can't just be around here not doing anything. You can't just park in the middle of the channel.
Viv smiles and waves her hands in front of Lash to distract her.
They still, they're slightly less beautiful butterflies, but they are still pretty nice.
Whoa.
Yes, that's right. Watch my hands.
I think my con is just charisma.
That seems unlikely.
Yeah,
no,
plus
it's
con
plus
skill.
charisma.
It's
My
charisma
con skill-
plus
it's
whatever
charisma
you're.
plus, that's right. So
It's-
I'm sorry. It's
It's probably at least like 11.
12.
Yeah.
Yeah, 12 dice.
Yeah, okay. Sorry.
I'm going to tell you, you could probably buy these hits, but we're going to roll it anyways because it's going to be fun.
It's fun. So I'm trying to convince him that we're at a bachelorette party and we've had plenty of milk and we didn't know where we were.
Yeah.
It's true, though.
I didn't do great. I got 3.
Oh, my goodness.
Oh, that's bad. You should probably burn that at, or spend
I don't think so.
spend
I mean,
the
3
edge.
is still good. I mean, as it is
No,
relates to just
we just-
general dice.
We're coming off a critical glitch though.
It's true, but I don't know if that matters in this scenario.
How much edge do you
Well,
have?
here's what I would say.
Yeah,
Say what you want to say, and let's see how it goes.
sure. Yeah, my friend Diane over here, she is getting married to my brother. So naturally, I'm at her bachelorette party, and we had a little bit of milk earlier. I wanted to show her where her family's from. You know, they're actually out from here. And she's never been out here. We kind of got lost. Actually, do you know how to get to Mad Marty's? It's a bar that they don't. I thought we were there and we're not. Oh, can't wait till you get married to my brother. Oh, it's gonna be the best. Do you know where Mad Marty's is? I thought it was over here, and then I just saw this cage. It's like I don't have no interest in that.
The entire time you're spinning this yarn, he is giving you the flattest look, like he's not buying it. But then, as soon as he sort of figures out what's happening and he's like, wait a minute, okay, he's an orc, looks at you, also an orc, gonna get married to this guy's brother, this guy's a human, And then he hears Mad Marty's, his favorite bar. And the whole thing just sort of like overwhelms him a little bit that like all the hate in the world is for nothing. We're all the same. We're all a part of the same tribe. You know, like meta-humanity is just, we're all just trying to get through it together. Like, why cause trouble? And he looks at you and he's like, you know what? That's beautiful. That is so beautiful. Mad Marty's, I tell you what you do. You motor, and he looks at Gabriel, and he says, you motor 3.5 miles that way, and then you go north about another 3 or 4. It's weird that you're out here. I mean, this is nowhere near it, but I understand you've been hitting the milk.
Yeah, we've hit the milk.
Oh, hell yeah,
I
we
thought that we
have.
should have turned back over there, but thank you so much. What was your name?
Oh, it's Balto Cuddle.
Balto Cuddle. Can we get a picture?
I would be honored.
That's
Yeah,
so
let's
nice.
get a
That's
picture.
so nice.
And then he takes a picture of you from his comlink and then says, it was so pleasant to meet you, and then motors off.
Oh, God, I was going to use my palming skill to try to take his ID, but he's gone. Great.
Gabriel breathes a giant sigh of relief and starts to pull around to the other side of the house that you're hiding behind.
Ooh, glad we thought on our feet of that bachelorette party.
So to go back to the matter at hand, I can't tell. The cage, it's hard to tell what's going on. Like, honestly, like, I don't even know how you managed to figure out the things that you managed to figure out. It seems like it works like a little bit like a Faraday cage, that like it's hard to get signal in and out. And like anything I can get is like real fuzzy, except at the very edges. And like nothing at the edges is anything that I can jump into, at least not from here. So, I mean, possible, but I won't know until maybe we're in there.
Okay. So, guys, based on what we saw, my question is this. I'm assuming we're going to have to get the boat completely covertly. And we're going to get on the boat, and they're going to know that we're getting away with the boat as soon as the boat starts moving. Do these walls or these cages that it's in look like they're strong enough to stop a warship from just driving through them? Or do we need to plan an evac route with the ship?
Yeah, I think the only way the ship's probably going to get out of here is by someone letting us get out of there with the ship, which might take some sneaking around.
Well, we need to find a way to get onto a barge or acquire one.
I actually think that's the easy part. We could probably drive this very boat up to the back of a barge and jump on it. But the thing is, once we get the battleship, we're gonna have to drive it out the front door, and that mage is going to pickle us.
As you guys are talking, Gabriel is just like slowly floating his way closer to Jast Reclamation, just to kind of like get a closer look. You see that there actually is an office that arcs around the entrance and the exit of the razor wire cage. And that there are people who, you can see some people through the windows who are in there. There are little guard towers on either side, and you can see that to the left, there is like a big rendering facility with a giant crane. There's like a small sort of hut, like warehouse kind of thing that has like an orange glow coming out of it. And smoke. And you can see that the catwalks, there actually are guys on the catwalks that are patrolling. And sure enough, in line with what Gabriel had said to you guys, they all seem to have guns. You are also now slightly closer if you wanted to do a last-ditch effort to try to figure out, like, if there's anything for you to learn about the surroundings, whether it's, magic-related or technology-related.
How ready are you guys to...
We're not.
What would you need to be ready to go in?
I think we need a general plan on how we're going to get the boat out. Because if we could sneak around and everything and get onto the boat, again, we're going to have to leave with the boat. And as soon as they see that boat moving, they know this shit's happening, and then they pull their guns out and they start shooting
I turn to Gabriel and I say, do you know how to work the guns?
So that's the thing. If we can figure out which exact boat it is,
yes,
beforehand, that's better.
Right.
If we can figure out which boat it is when we're in there, I'm probably going to need at least half an hour to get all the skill softs in order and to learn how to do it, unless it's one that I already know how to do, which, like, there's a chance, but, like, I can't guarantee it not knowing what it is. So we might need to just sort of, like, play it by ear.
So, If I can get my hands on any of these guards that knows something, I can probe their minds. Lux, do you think you can replicate any of these uniforms?
I can do that.
There's an idea.
I also have got a picture of the guard that we had, so I can also create a disguise of him. Yeah.
Why don't we bring the bachelorette party back, and he may patrol again?
You want to get the guard back?
Right now?
Yeah, you want to get the guard back.
Do you want to
now?
get rid of him now?
Are we going to take him
Tomorrow.
hostage for a day? I think we should.
Yeah.
I think you should create the costume before. This should be we get in, we get out.
I'm gonna figure out who this guy is. I'll do my research, and we'll get him on the way to work tomorrow and take care of him.
I feel more comfortable about this now.
You guys feel like you did all your recon?
The only other thing that I think we could do is if we could take the boat around to the side where all the ships are, if we could look through the documents that Yuri gave us and see if we can see any identifying marks or anything
Visually.
like that he gave us, and see if we could, so that Gabriel can do some research on the actual ship model and make and guns available.
If it is Yuri's ship, there must be like a signature of his on it somewhere.
Or the name.
In like the operating system or something. It has to be registered to him or something. So if we could do a couple searches and see on the Matrix and see which ships are registered to whom.
Can you do that now?
I think so.
Okay.
So Gabriel starts to drive towards Jast Reclamation, and Banks left to go around the backside just to get some sense of what the rest of the property looks like. He stays at a far enough distance so as to not invoke any sort of suspicion. And as you are turning from the front face to the left face and around, you become aware just of like how big this place is. It's gigantic. And from the vantage point that you have, moving from the left face to the rear face, you can't see any other in or out other than the channels that are the entryway and the exit that you've seen these barges entering and leaving through. You do get a better sense of the sort of half dozen or so Navy ships that are around that sort of roughly fit the description. They all look similar but different. Some of them have funny paint jobs. Some of them have artillery on them. Some of them don't. Some of them look in a state of extreme disrepair. One of them is up on stilts. A couple of them are in the water. None of them jump out immediately as being definitely belonging to Yuri.
Hey, Mike, stilts?
Yeah, what is it called? When the
Dry dock.
The dry dock. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I imagine
What are they called? They're called like floaters or something. They're like big.
all boats are floaters, Mike.
But not all boats are upper deckers. Hey.
Da, 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 da.
That's a poop joke.
Would you call a submarine a boat?
A bad boat. That's what to go down there.
To go down there.
When you look at the coordinates that Yuri gave you for his ship, they point to directly in the center of Jast. They don't point to a specific location. So it seems like he knows that it's here somehow, but he doesn't have it's not like a precise.
Can we just can I just take a picture of all of these boats with my comm link and then just send it to Yuri and be like, which one? Tell me.
Absolutely.
Can I do that now?
Yeah, sure.
And while you're doing that, I think I can run a Matrix search. Basically, I'm looking for information on the Matrix about this ship because I believe that there's there has to be a signature left on the ship from Yuri's owning it, right? Because it must be registered to him. I'm looking for basically ship's records. Even gangsters register their ships under dummy corporations and fake names. So I'm gonna look through all of the public maritime databases and see if anything is registered to Yuri or one of his aliases.
And we're hoping for we'll say a 4 or a 5 gets you something.
Ooh, it's not looking good. Looks like a glitch.
Edge.
4 ones is not a glitch.
I could out of 10.
Out of 10, no.
Edge.
Should I re-roll it?
You can re-roll if you want to spend an edge. You can re-roll
you
everything
can.
that's not a hit.
You got 2 edges from him so far.
Yeah, I'll re-roll it. I'll re-roll.
Keep the ones that are hits and re-roll everything else.
Yeah, we got it.
You don't get access to any of Jast's records. Nothing there is public. As far as you can tell, they've managed to scrape the matrix of any kind of record of what goes in and out of there. They're a private business, that kind of makes sense. If you were to get access to their local network, you might be able to find something, but on the public database, no. You do, however, manage to find records for all of the journeys of all of the different kinds of, all of the ships that have come into New York that are of the type that you can see with your physical eyes. And what you found is that there are, in fact, 4 boats that showed up and then never left. And they're still here. What you then can do is to figure out which has been registered to one of the dummy corporations that Yuri has given to you as a name. You can't figure that out from where you are because you need access to the boats.
But that's 4 locations in Jast.
There are 4 boats that you know that are in Jast that are candidates. And if you, and probably Gabriel would be able to do it too, can get physical access to them, and if they have power, you will be able to basically match identifying characteristics to their systems to figure out which boat is Yuri's.
So we've devised a fetch quest.
You have devised a fetch quest. I have devised a fetch. The universe has conspired to devise a fetch quest.
Running in the shadows.
It does feel like a team effort. So
TK, what'd you get?
So there are 4 candidates. I can't figure out any better than that, but me and Gabriel can go, and I mean, I guess all of us can probably do this, but we can all go and see, we can check the boats to see if they have power, to see if we can, see what is on their computers. And we'll be able to match at least one of them, because one of them is the boat we're looking for.
Right.
You feel good? You want to Amscray? You're sort of turning around now from the back face of Jast to the right face, and the sun is getting pretty low.
I think I've done all I can do.
Yeah, let's get out of here. You've been on their matrix. They might be looking at us. We better get out of here.
All right. Sounds good.
Got an Overwatch score, huh?
Gabriel, let's roll.
Woo! I'm getting married.
Yay, Diana!
In the distance, you see that one orc giving you a high peace sign.
Little does he know.
And he shouts,
Love is great.
You are now leaving Fun City. Thank you for listening. If you want to support the show or get weird and fun behind-the-scenes tape and other episode extras, please head to patreon.com/FunCityVentures, where you can transfer us some of your hard-earned new yin and keep this ship afloat. We have been working on Fun City for almost a year, and we're so excited to share it with you that we couldn't not throw a party. So, if you find yourself in the Brooklyn archipelago, please come join us on September 19th, 2019 at our favorite new neighborhood bar/arcade/concert venue, Wonderville on Broadway. We'll be there from 8 until 11 p.m. at least, throwing back soy brews and playing Killer Queen. More details in the show notes.
I'm Bijan Steven, and I am TK. You can find me online at Bijan Steven on Twitter, which is BIJANSTEPHEN, or on Instagram, and you should just Google that.
I'm Jen De La Vega. I am Viv. You can find me online at Randwiches. That's the word sandwiches, but just replace the S with an R.
This is Nick Guercio. I play Luxe. You can find me on Twitter at NGUERSH. And Instagram at NGuercio, GUERCIO.
This is Shannon Odell. I play Lash Goodbog. You can find me on Instagram and Twitter at Shodell, SHODELL.
This is Taylor Moore, and I play all the bad boys. I'm at Taylor.biz.
My name is Mike Rugnetta. I am your GM. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Mike Rugnetta. You can find the show on Twitter at Fun City Ventures. Fun City was recorded at Fortunate Horse in Greenpoint, Brooklyn. It was produced, edited, and sound designed by me, Mike Rugnetta. All of the show's music is by Sam Tyndall, and the voice of Artemis is Molly Templeton. Thanks to everyone who heard rough cuts of the show along the way and gave us notes and advice, with special shoutouts to Drew Hendrickson, Jason Oberholzer, Molly Templeton, Tim Mucci, Crystal Donovan, Patrick Davison, Kyle Schansinger, and George Ruiz. Across the water, buried amongst the toxic fjords of Sheepshead Bay, sits Jast Reclamation. In one corner of its vast area sits a single-story concrete building with an open steel roof. Beneath it, a Byzantine warren of hallways and tunnels leading into dark, occluded chambers. Rooms with chanting apprentice mages, enchanted slag, and rivulets of multiple glowing metals. Candles flicker with crimson and ultraviolet flames. In the sunken center of it is a round chamber, lit by the fire of a forge in its center, and at the forge works a human man, his arms disfigured with scars and raw, unhealed burns. In one hand he holds a heavy, ancient revolver. With the other, he withdraws a glowing crucible from the fire. He pours its contents into the carvings he has made on the great pistol's grip. The liquid metal sizzles, cools, and solidifies into the eldritch sigils and runes cut into the material. He examines his work and ignores the smell of his own burning flesh, mingled with the smoke of the smoldering gun. And from the chamber's only egress enters Balto Cuddle. Hey, boss, want to let you know, those folks in the fan boat, the ones that you thought maybe were causing trouble at the perimeter, I checked on it. They were just a bachelorette party. Jast Columnar, owner of Jast Reclamation, casts a pall of disappointment over his director of security.
No, Mr. Cuddle, they were not. They are thieves, and they are coming to take something from me. I have seen it. Baphomet has shown it.
Oh. Should we get some extra guys?
No. The thieves will break against me like waves upon the rock.
I don't doubt it, but I mean, still, we should call in...
No. I have already summoned Vornoth. Let them come and be rendered.
All right. I mean, you are literally the boss. If they are a bachelorette thing, though, I don't think we should really rend them. He momentarily submerges the handle of his gun in a clear, blue reservoir of water, which bubbles and retreats from the red-hot material, but quickly calms and rushes in to cradle the gun.
If they are lucky, Baphomet's fire may show them mercy, but I will not.